Hello, everyone. In this live, we have a great photographer with me this night. And where is we have Ben Staley from Los Angeles, California. Thanks for coming this live. Welcome in my podcast, Ben. Okay, guys. As always, we have an hour. We can spend with Ben to interview him and talk with him about his inspiration, his approach, technical stuff, etc. So let's start. Hi, Ben. Welcome. And first question that I do in all my interview podcasts is this: Who is Ben Staley?
Oh,
Simple
that's
question
all.
to
That's all
start.
you're asking. Just that one simple question. Jeez. Um,
Hello,
I
Laura. Welcome in the chat.
I guess I am a photographer, and I guess I do live in Los Angeles, although not in the city. I live on the north end of Los Angeles County. I no longer live in the big city. I don't like it, but I'm
Mm.
actually from Alaska. Uh, Although now, just this year, this month, I've been in California for half of my life. So I guess I'm as much Californian as I am Alaskan, and that kind of pains me a little bit because I like my Alaskan status. But I grew up quite remote. I grew up very humbly. We didn't have electricity. We didn't even have indoor plumbing. So we had
Wow.
an outhouse, which is like a seat with a hole in the ground. And when it's cold in the winter, when it's like 40 below, it's very cold when you go do your business. So I grew up that way. I didn't even have electricity or running water till I was like 20 years old. And yeah, so there was no real technology. There was no television. There was an AM radio, and I didn't know anything about cameras. I didn't know anything about storytelling, but I read all the time, and I looked at magazines that we would have, National Geographic, Life magazine, all these great portraits of people from around the world, and it always just really captured my imagination. Although in my younger years, even in my early 20s, I just thought, oh, I could never do that. That's for somebody else. That's like for other people, like fancy people, not someone like me.
But it's a nice story. And you become a filmmaker before become photographer.
Yeah, when I was in my mid 20s, I was 26 actually. I decided, or 25 maybe, I decided I want to make movies, and I don't know how. I don't know anybody. I had bought a little video camera because I was climbing mountains and ice climbing and rock climbing. That was my
Mhm.
main passion, my hobby. That's why I love the Dolomites in your country. But I bought a video camera, and it took little tapes, like little digital tapes. This is way back before, solid state anything. This is the mid 90s. So bought a video camera to take on these climbing adventures and just fell in love with filming things, and then decided, okay, I want to make documentaries. Maybe I want to make Hollywood films. I want to tell stories with cameras. And so I basically sold everything that I owned and got down to just a few small possessions and saved all the money I could and moved to Los Angeles. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know how to do anything. And I just got in there and started kind of fighting it out, kind of borrowing cameras, meeting people, trying to make things with people, trying to collaborate, trying to learn. And, it has taken a long time. Like, I didn't even start doing that till I was in my mid to late 20s. So, I guess I got kind of a late start. I'm kind of a late bloomer, but I did a lot of like crummy jobs and a lot of just fighting my way up, low budget things, music videos, short films, projects get bigger and bigger. Oh, do a commercial. Oh, hey, maybe shoot my indie feature film. Oh, let's do this documentary project, up and up and up. And then I got to where I was doing a lot of outdoor kind of doc series stuff for Discovery Channel, for Nat Geo. for the History Channel, for places like that. Just because a lot of like remote, outdoorsy type stuff, my background coming from Alaska, it was really easy. And I was self-sufficient. I learned how to do everything myself. So I became kind of a go-to guy where like, hey, Ben, go to the Amazon, see if we can make a TV show out there. Hey, Ben, go to Siberia, see if we can make a TV show out there about this thing. And I would go to these places alone and film and put things together and then come back. And so I got really self-sufficient. I got really good at working with either by myself or with a really small team. And I was always going to these places, meeting people, and always carried a stills camera too, and just kind of got better and better at that. When you're doing documentaries and things like that, a lot of what you do is you create the sit down interview, which is basically like a video portrait, right? You interview people and you got to make it look good. Well, I've done at this point certainly hundreds, maybe thousands of interviews. So I got pretty good at lighting. And then I just got really fascinated with people's faces and lighting them and composing them. And I started just taking portraits of people everywhere I went,
Yeah.
um, all the wild places, Alaska, Siberia, jungles around the world, Africa. And, I brought those skills kind of back to Los Angeles. Then I started shooting some of my friends who are actors and models and musicians and creative people, and things just, begin to build. And then pretty soon, a lot of people, although my photography is still, a smaller part than my filmmaking work. A lot of people only know me as a photographer, and it's like, I do both of these things. So it's I have a little bit of a split personality, but like to me, it all comes from the same place. It's all the same impulse. It's all storytelling. It's all, it all boils down to really, trying to capture the essence of someone, trying to communicate an emotion or a feeling or an experience. Um, and sometimes you have one frame, sometimes you have more frames, but it's all the same thing to me.
And you start from middle of 19, okay? And the technology is so involved from this year from now. And how is how was difficult bring with yourself a big camera with a lot of big memory, or maybe something like old Harry, old cameras, like did you send me as a picture? For example, in I think it was in Africa, in
Mm,
the with the rain, and you have this big camera in your shoulder, and that's a really hard work to bring yourself. You can make a little now with a phone or the stupid camera as a Nikon or
yeah.
Sony. You can I mean, it's difficult to decide to, hey, okay, now I want to travel with a big equipment alone. Why- Man, that's a
Yeah, it's
very
hard. It's hard. I mean, yeah, I mean, the more expensive cameras seem to have always been bigger. By the time you rig them out with batteries and with all the gack that you need to make them run, they certainly get big and heavy. Now there's super capable cameras that are much smaller. So, technology keeps changing. I've always liked smaller, lighter cameras. I will sacrifice a little bit of quality just for mobility, because a lot of times, you have to think and you have to distill down like what's the most important thing. Maybe the most important thing is just being nimble and being ready, and it's hard to do that with a big camera that requires help to run, right? That's why, I mean, some cameras are exceptionally they have exceptional images, they have the best images, but they're not the best for maybe a quick run and gun doc situation, I mean, it's controversial, but like I've
yes, no,
done
no, it's true. A
jobs
lot
with
of new
with
camera
with
is
red. Yeah.
For example, we talking about Sony, Nikon, DSLR. But if you guys think because we use Leica, it's because Leica is faster, more faster than a lot of camera, and it's manual focus.
Yeah, I mean, with I mean, honestly, in the pro world, you're focusing by yourself anyway, so that's always like a comfortable thing to do. You're not relying on the camera to focus for you because if it's wrong, you can't afford that. And, you can count on yourself. You can count
Yes,
on yourself to find the focus. It's hard nowadays. Some cameras are really, really good with autofocus, but professionally, most people aren't doing that. You're focusing yourself, or you have a focus puller.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. A lot of, for example, I totally forget how is the autofocus system. I really don't need because
yeah.
uh, because I don't have any control of my picture, of my situation, of my subject movements, and
Yeah.
I really prefer use manual focus in
Yeah, I'm kind
all
of the same. I
cases.
mean, for much of what I do, especially if I'm just walking around, shooting casually, street photography, always manual focus, always.
Yes, and instead regarding your you shoot a lot of black and white images. You have a lot of stunning black and white images you made. Hey guys, Ben have a art and adventure and art channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. In his channel is amazing. You can find a lot of tutorial, uh, a lot of tips as a simply conversation. Is so beautiful mm, to see and to hear. Please check his video that are amazing, and the picture are super amazing. And you have a nice retouching workflow. I saw your video regarding your process, and it's so amazing because you usually use Lightroom. This video you use Lightroom, and this is so easy because 90% of the picture is taken in the shooting phase, not in post production phases, and that's the problem regarding, for example, young photographer. They produce a lot of images, a lot of post production process, but are empty. And do you have some tip and tricks to explain a little bit better how to create a storytelling, how to connect with the people when you take a shot?
I mean, I guess it's always different, right? It's always different. Every person is different, and the way that you're going to connect with that person is different. Um, Sometimes it's an overt connection. Sometimes it happens accidentally. But you basically, it's really important to realize that your photo shoot starts long before you even have the camera in your hand.
Okay.
And if you want to achieve a connection with someone, you have to approach that like from day one, from the very first interaction. Like every single thing that you do with someone is going to inform whether you're going to be able to achieve that connection or not. Now, keep in mind, maybe you have the luxury of a full day to do a shoot. Maybe you have the luxury of a few hours. Maybe you only have 15 minutes. Maybe it's a street portrait and you only have a few moments, right? But the people looking at that photo later, they're not going to know the difference. They're not going to know what went into it. They're not going to know how long it took. They're not going to know anything that you went through to get that picture. And it's still, you still want it to affect people in the same way. So you just have to realize that the minute you decide you're going to make a portrait or you're going to take someone's picture, you have to be reaching for that connection. And it becomes like a muscle memory, and it becomes instinctual. but you need to be sort of hyper aware of every choice that you make, your posture, your body language, the tone of your voice, how I talk about it like how you're vibrating. So you have to vibrate at a certain frequency so that you don't disrupt that other person's frequency. You need to, in 90% of cases, I think, you need to be unthreatening, you need to be friendly, you need to be a welcoming figure. You need to find out how you can kind of match with their frequency and get them to really relax and show you their true essence. That's what I'm always looking for, is like, how can I capture this person's essence, maybe in a way that they haven't even seen themselves? And sometimes you can get that in one snap. Sometimes it takes 100 snaps to get there, right? But you're always working towards it. Generally, generally, you know when it happens. You know the good one when it happens, typically. Sometimes you'll discover it later. Uh, Sometimes you're adjusting and moving things just right to get it. And then sometimes it just happens because you have all the conditions are in place. You've set everything up, and now it's just we're just waiting for that moment. And you have to be ready when that moment presents itself.
Yes, great
So
tips, guys. Great tips.
it's a really nuanced question, and it's something we could probably talk about all day.
Another important question, in my opinion, chained is this. We talking about of live regarding work with the professional model and normal people, and that's a big difference for our results. In I don't know if is a simple uh, mm, times. For example, if you have a professional model, you know what's happening in your frame in all time. Normal people is totally different because usually in my cases a lot when I start shooting the people usually are a little bit stiff, a little bit scared from the lights, from the situation, and they need to talk, need to relax, need to create their comfort zone before start to shooting. And these are a time that you spend to wait your subject is ready to get the the right shoot. Okay, and this is happen in the studio. You usually work outdoor, and you must to fight with the lights because you have a lot of lights condition, sunny days, cloudy days. Uh, s- is wow! It's so difficult. It's so. Uh, uh, in my opinion, you have a very deep knowledge of natural light, of the movement of your light location. Because, guys, Ben has a big studio under the bridge, his main studio. Okay, it's a very long and dark bridge in Los Angeles. I think is maybe Los Angeles or near Los Angeles. And if you check his video, you can see this beautiful light uh, intersect the subject as a hero, and that's amazing because he work all days in this place or something like this, and that's amazing. But the lighting is always different, and you shoot with flashes, with natural light, with the old tape for camera. Man, you are a Jedi of photography. You are a force. You can control. No, explain a
I
little
mean,
bit better. How do you do?
it's I'm also, I'm also setting the stage. Like, here's you have certain things under your control. I guess if you're in a studio, you have ultimate control, right? You have ultimate
Yeah,
control. If you're in a studio and you bring the lights, look, the lights aren't going to do anything you don't ask them to do. the camera's not going to point anywhere that you don't point it, right? So it's just up to you. You can set it all up. It's going to look as bright as you want or as dark as you want. If you're shooting outdoors or you're just using available light, you're using daylight, then you have to stack the deck in your favor, right? You have to choose when and where you will shoot. Okay, so what conditions do you want? Well, typically light is more flattering if it's closer to the horizon, right? It's coming at a sharper angle. Like coming straight ahead, you don't want to light someone with harsh light right from the top. You get these raccoon eyes, you get the shadow from the brow, and it just doesn't look good. You don't want the top of their head brighter than, down, like it's not good. So I will, if I'm shooting in my studio, which is, yes, it's under a bridge. There's an overpass. It's like a dry riverbed. It's a river that has no water in it anymore, and there's a bridge over it. So it's got a really high ceiling. It's got these big blank concrete walls, which are like empty studio walls. And it's open on either end. So it's shaded. The light out here is just coming in nice, soft, indirect light. So, of course, the closer you put someone to the opening, the brighter it is. The more you recede into under the bridge, the darker it gets and the more spread out the light is, right? You go closer to the opening, it's coming in, it's more directional and it's more intense. And then also, as the sun begins to lower, if the sun's up here, the light is really soft that's coming in. As the sun gets lower, it's basically the sunlight is traveling through more layers of atmosphere on the earth. So it's naturally kind of diffused and more pleasant. It actually gets it gets warmer in color as it lowers because it's going through the atmosphere. There's particles in the atmosphere, dust, pollution, things like that. It warms the light. So the sun is dropping down. It's blasting through all those layers of atmosphere because of the angle of approach to the earth, and it's lower, so it's at a much harsher, much more directional angle, side lit. So in the last couple hours of the day, when the sun comes down and it's coming at a more harsh angle into that under that bridge, you get some different results depending on where you put your subject, depending on which direction you point the camera, right? And the other cool part is there's facing walls facing each other. The light's coming in here. Um, the light may be hitting this wall. Maybe it's not hitting this wall over here. So I can choose to put someone either in the shadows or I can put them in the harsh light. I can shoot this way or I can shoot this way, and I get different results. So I really found it's just this kind of magical location where I can get, half a dozen completely different looks by just simply turning around, moving, 20 feet this way, moving 30 meters this way, whatever. And, I guess when I started shooting there, I knew quite a bit about light, but I've just learned, I've been shooting down there now for, oh boy, 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
And it's, I mean, I used to shoot down there a lot more than I do now. Really, when I started doing it, there were times when I would shoot several people down there a day. I really started stacking people up, and it was like I did jobs down there. I did all kinds of things. And really, I learned a lot. And the truth is, I think this year I've probably shot down there a half a dozen times, maybe, and which isn't very much for we're almost done with the year. So, maybe I'll shoot down there once every couple of months or something. Um, but honestly, even after more than a decade, and it's just a very simple space, I have still done things recently down there that I've never done before. Like I'm finding new ways to use the light, new compositions, new things to do. So even if you're shooting in the same location repeatedly dozens of times, I've certainly shot down there hundreds of times. Hundreds of people down there, some famous people down there. Uh, and there's still an opportunity to learn or to approach it differently. Every person is different and every moment is different. You come into the situation differently. So I try and go into that space with a general idea of what I'm going to do, but I try and stay really loose and really open, and I focus on the person I'm with. and I focus on how can I communicate with them? How can I get them to be comfortable, give their best, and then let's just see what happens. And then you know, I try and really have a strong sense of play, of like, look, we're finger painting. Um, I'm not super concerned about what the person thinks of me, or meaning in terms of like, I'm willing to take some bad pictures. Like, I'm not worried about them trying to impress them or that kind of thing. I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel that I'm competent, but I also let them know, hey, we're going to try some things, and some of it's going to work and some of it's not. And I'm willing to screw up more than you. And that's why we get into, I've shot a lot of amateur people down there, and I've shot some really famous people down there, like I've shot real professional models that have been on TV. And it's the same kind of thing. It's the same approach. What is the difference between a professional and an amateur? Professional means that you deliver. So you hire a professional when you want them to get the job done. If you're an amateur, you don't necessarily have that requirement, right? If you're an
Yeah.
amateur, you have the luxury of failing. You have the luxury of, maybe not getting it right. If you are a professional, you will deliver. That's what a professional model brings, right? You point the camera at them, they're doing everything they need to do to make the picture, right? You don't have to do a lot. With an amateur, maybe you have to communicate with them. Okay, hey, it's better if you hold your head this way. Hey, it's better if you do this with your body. Hey, maybe it's better. Maybe let's put you here. A professional model knows instinctively where the light is. They know how to move their body in accordance with the light. They know how that light's hitting them. They're doing it all the time. They know how to stand. They know which side looks better. And you also have to say, if you do need to adjust them, you need to do some things. They already speak the lingo, so it's like, oh, just a little of this or a little of that, and you have to say very little, so it's easy. Um, I look, it's so relaxing and nice and wonderful to collaborate with a professional and to
Yeah.
to have a professional
That's true.
model. It's amazing. But I really love shooting amateurs. I love shooting people on the street. I love shooting people when I'm in these wild places that have typically don't have their picture taken or aren't used to it. Because there's something more innocent about it. It can be harder for you. It can also be a lot easier a lot of times. So I don't know. I like both, and I imagine that I will never stop shooting both amateurs and professionals.
Yes, me too. And I in this period, I prefer to, for example, to take a street portrait or street situation or amateur people, because I need to connect with the. For my works, I usually make a beauty photography, portrait for magazine, etc. And it's so easy. But okay, it's easy. It's my work. I I need to to work, but it's so boring because it's so perfect. It's so in focus. It's so damned boring, and that's the truth for professional work. All professional work are boring. Okay, you can use a wonderful model, a wonderful stuff, a very big studio, but photography is another thing. I don't know. In my opinion, the photography as a concept is manipulate the perception of reality like a magic, and that's the real power of photography, in my opinion. It's more intense for me, amateur subject, show him or show her in my photography, and hey, I like me. It's me. I love this picture. For the professional models, oh, okay, thanks, good picture, bye. Hey, and that's the truth.
Yeah,
For
yeah. I mean, I guess I enjoy. I am, I guess, at heart, um a documentarian. So I like a real authentic looking image, but more than real, it's kind of hyper real. I think what you can do with photography is what you should strive for, I think, is to show people how you see things. So, it doesn't have to be about what's actually there 100%. It doesn't have to be a carbon copy of reality, but I like to show people, look, this is how I see. These are the things that I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you are a photographer, you're seeing pictures every minute that other people aren't seeing because you're looking at the light and the way the light lands on a wall or the way it lands on the side of someone's face, or you're seeing those. You're making these pictures in your mind all the time. You can't not see it. Photograph's an opportunity to show other people how you see things.
Yeah. That's true. That's a very true. Um, Instead, regarding we talking about the before the equipment regarding how is important the smaller equipment versus the large equipment or sacrifice the quality image for mobility, etc., etc., etc. What's your favorite equipment that you're using now for your
Favorite?
portrait, for your as also an touch and feel?
Yeah, I mean, I have been using for the last couple years, I guess. I've been using this Lumix camera mostly. It's an S5 II X. I started using it because it's an exceptional video camera. It's also an amazing stills camera, so I can do both at a really high level. Um, and then, for portraits, my favorite lens of all time is is the Sigma Art series. So they have an 85 millimeter
Oh,
art.
this
Yeah, and
DGDN.
DGDN art lens, and they're just amazing. They actually have quite a bit of character. They've almost got this slight swirly look to the edges if you have the right kind of bokeh. And I mean, if you look at if you look at any of my recent work from the last half a decade, it's 90% with that lens for the portrait work. And you know, I I'm always I wouldn't say I'm worried if I don't have it, but I always have that lens with me because I can I can make a good image with that lens. It's like it's how I see things. That focal length is it's comfortable, it's easy. Um it's not so long. If I back up enough, I can get the environment in there. If I get close enough, I can make the background completely go away. So it just kind of gives me a little of both. Um, yeah, it's L mount. I mean, it's the same. I think it's the same system you're using. Those are L mount lenses. So yeah, and I like it. I will adapt my M mount lenses a lot and use those. Yeah, I mean,
Me too.
I I'm liking anymore. It's like one camera, one lens. Let's just keep it really simple. Um, Having said that, I'm really like the last YouTube video I put out, which I'm really proud of. I shot that with like 4 different cameras. So, it just depends on what you're doing, I guess. I am a
But
little hypocritical. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll shoot with multiple digital cameras and I'll shoot with multiple film cameras, just to try and tell the same story because, sometimes I kind of like the multimedia, analog, digital. Let's mess it all up and see what we can do. Then shoot some motion so I can do all that.
and that's a real demonstration how is deep your knowledge because I see you work with 28 millimeter in like a Q2 monochrome, for example. And is it another word or instead 85 millimeter? Is totally different approach, totally different framing, totally different comfort zone from you and your subject, and that's it's not easy change the lens. For example,
No, yeah.
I'm a 15 millimeter person. I'm 15 millimeter. I use for my 90% of work my Voigtlander 1.2 M series. and I love him.
Great.
Is
Yeah.
but when I use a Hasselblad, I use a 80 millimeter. It's the same focal length. I am 50 millimeter person. I
Good. That's how you see.
I
That's how you see.
yeah, and I use for when I work in small spaces 35, but that's my lens. I have a lot of lens, for example, because I have a lot of system in here. But in the end, I use my this focal length for a lot of stuff, and I love him this lens, and I love him serious lens. I hope to buy a Summilux or Summilux one day, or
Yeah.
Noctilux if you have
I would
some
love to
mind
have
to
that lens. I would love to have a Noctilux. Yeah.
it's so expensive to buy. Here in
Yeah.
Italy,
Yeah.
it's super
Yeah.
expensive
They're amazing.
lens. Yes,
Amazing lenses. Yeah.
0.9 is a very
Yeah.
amazing lens. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you use a
Amazing.
lot of M lens.
I do. I have a like a Summicron. I have and then I have a bunch of Voigtlanders. I have like a 30 a couple 35 millimeters. I have the 35 1.2 that I love as a walk around lens. And I've shot portraits with that. It's beautiful, beautiful. Mine's a little bit broken, but it still works good. And then I have a 35 color scope R, which is amazing as a walk around lens. And then I also have trying to sell it actually. I have a 75 millimeter 1.5 Voigtlander, which is a
Voigtlander.
beautiful. Yeah, that's an amazing lens. I just don't use it because I use my 85 all the time. But that's an amazing lens. Amazing. Yeah. Beautiful. I
Yeah,
should go shoot with it right
Voigtlander
now. I
is
kind of
super
want to.
sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to
Yeah.
shoot with that more, maybe.
Yeah, it's a very amazing lens, not too expensive to buy, super solid, super precise as a focal construction or focus smoothing.
Yes.
I don't know is this the correct pronounce about this, but
No, it's great. Yeah.
I really love. And I also had a 14 1.4 by Sigma. It's a very big, huge lens by SL because
Yeah.
it's so big for me. I prefer light camera.
Yeah.
I really prefer light camera. And instead, regarding your favorite lights, flash or constant? What's your what's your favorite light?
All right. I vastly prefer constant light. I'm just more comfortable with it being kind of a filmmaker. Um, that's what I started using. So flash, I'm always a little less comfortable with flash. I can do it. I have a couple of strobes, but if it's up to me, I would just use constant light. I like it. Sometimes in daylight, or if you just needed more power, you have to go with the strobe. Strobes can give you more power, and you can do some things. But yeah,
Yeah, because there are, in my opinion, there is a little bit of war of branding. A lot of flash brand produce the same exactly stuff, but
yeah, I agree.
they sell as the best strobe that you never see before as a Apple phone. And hey, this is new Apple, the most powerful phone that you never see. Obviously, is the last one. Is not.
Still makes phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, something like this one. I bought yesterday, today or yesterday. I really don't know. My phone is broke. I broke a lot of phone. I don't know why. Hey, I don't know. I have this problem with the phones.
You're hard on the phones. You're hard on the
Yeah,
phones.
I hate the technology inside the phones, the mobile phone, because I think um, is so paradox. We have a lot of connection in this world, and the most difficult connection to make is with the real people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
for example, I really love this moment because from this moment we create something together one day maybe if you want to come in Italy, there are no problem. I I
Hmm.
I really love collaborating with photographer to create something together because the art is art. For example, and when I interview the people, usually I leave all open channel, and I usually send email, try to make something together, and that's a funny way to collaborate to create something together. And regarding this particular thing, what is your approach with teaching? Do you teach a lot in your channel? Not like a simple technique, basic technique, how to use strobes or constant or something like that, but regarding the approach and composition. You talk a lot about composition.
Uh, I don't I don't talk a ton about it. I think about it a lot, you know. I think we all kind of have our way of composing things. Most people do. I'm always trying to, even now, I'm trying to surprise myself with compositions. I'm trying to stretch because I feel like a simple thing of like how you compose an image, it can really change the game for you, you know. As much as it can change the images just by choosing to frame someone a little off center or a little too high or a little too low. You can really change the whole vibe of an image. And so a lot of times in my own head, the things that if I look later, I'm like, "Ah, I wish I'd have took more chances with the composition, or I wish I'd have gotten even not the whole shoot maybe, but I wish I had gotten a little more daring with the way I structured an image." And I still feel that way sometimes. And so I'm always trying to do that now, really consciously of like, wait a minute, take a little time here, get the shots, do the job. Now take a little time and just get weird with it. And so I think everybody should do that. Take some time, play, experiment, get weird, try and see if you can make maybe a different image, maybe surprise yourself. What can you do that maybe it's not something you've seen before, it's not something you've done before, and sometimes those things come out and they might be your favorite thing, because there's some little weird moment of inspiration or kismet that happens. And yeah, so that now I'm not teaching a ton. I'm traveling here and there. I'm doing like a slideshow up in Washington State next month. I do that from time to time. um because only because people keep asking me about it. I am thinking of starting to do some workshops or something like that. Like, I would love to come to Europe and do a series of workshops. That would be amazing, honestly.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of people from Europe reach out to me on my channel or on social media,
I
ask
in
if I'm
chat.
doing that.
So sorry
Yeah.
for I interrupt you. Sorry. Jude Law say, "Hey, Bren, odds look like your brothers from another mother."
My Italian brother, huh? That
Yeah,
Jude
yeah,
Law's
true.
watching your channel, huh?
Yeah,
All right.
yes.
Hey, Jude Law.
Yeah,
Cool.
you photograph a famous singer. It's your friend. Do you make a video with guys with face with the
Oh, Seal.
see exactly seal.
Seal, yeah, yeah. I did a shoot with Seal. Yeah, that was a couple years ago. Seal messaged me in the middle of the night one time and told me that I was his favorite photographer or one of his favorite photographers. He's a photography nut. And then we became friends. And we would do long Zoom calls like this, and he would ask me all these questions about photography. And then because he's famous, Leica did a Seal branded Q2 camera, and he said, "Well, that's cool, but Ben has to do all the photography and stuff for it, all the marketing." So I did that. Yeah, and we
Yeah,
did a little
amazing.
project together. And it's funny because I booked a studio, a real studio, and then he showed up and he was like, "Oh, I thought we were gonna thought we were going to shoot under your bridge. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to take seal under my bridge and try and do a shoot for Leica down there. But I probably should have. I could have saved like a couple grand if I'd have just done it under my bridge. I should have done that.
It's your comfort zone. It's okay.
Yeah, it's my comfort zone. Yeah. No, we
Yeah.
had to do it in the studio. We had to do it in the studio. There was a particular brief. It was a look, it was a job. And Leica had a specific visual kind of reference that they wanted to achieve. And it was something I'd never done before. They wanted to project images of his words onto his face and do that. And so I basically I'd never done anything with a projector before photographically. So I did quite a bit of research, and I hired my friend to be a gaffer and to help me out. And he had a whole crew and everything, and we had a whole plan. And then, literally 2 days before the shoot, he got something happened and he couldn't do it. He got like a better job. He got like a big high paying job for like several weeks that was going to interfere. And so then here I was without my whole team. And I had to hire someone last minute that I didn't know, and they turned out to be great. But anyways, I got a couple projectors. We worked it all out, and I'm pretty proud of those images. I actually lit him with his own words, which is pretty cool. I lit him with his own words, and we did the whole shoot. We did video and did stills, and I'm really proud of that shoot. I used all Leica cameras. We used my Q2 a little bit. My wife shot the BTS of it with my Q2, but I used all Leica cameras that I borrowed from Leica that I didn't own. I used Seal's own M11 to shoot him. And then the SL cameras I used for video and for stills. Um, but I've done that a lot where it's like, okay, it's a big job, and let me just use a bunch of cameras that I've never used before. But what the heck, right? You only live once. I
SL.
figured I figured I could pull it off. Yeah, we did it. We got it done.
SL is a great camera.
They're
I
great
want
cameras.
to I
They're
want
great.
to like make a SL monochrome, please.
Oh, that'd be tough to turn down. That'd be tough to turn down. I really want an M monochrome. Yeah, we talked about that. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
Maybe even a generation older, like an M10 monochrome. I would love to have that in my kit.
monochrome is another
Um,
word.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
totally
kind of lost
another
after
word.
that camera.
Total different approach of photography. Total different. You can use a filter, red filter, yellow filter on your filter. You can
Yeah,
change absolutely your language. Black or white is a language, color is another language, in my opinion. There are two different approaches, two different fields. And I really
100%.
love colors, okay, but colors si- is based on situation, in my opinion. Black or white is based on how do you feel when you see this situation. For example, I talking about before in this out of live regarding my idea of black or white photography to don't s- mm, show the subject, show only the idea of the subject or the action of the subject. Uh, mm, Working with the contrast and lightning and cut of lighting, something like that. I really love high contrast, and in my opinion, M give me a boost of contrast images without any production, any importing, simply straight out of camera and bam. That's the grid, but is simply too expensive for me now. It's very
Yeah,
expensive
they're
camera.
expensive. They're very expensive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I
kind
don't
of
know
silly.
why Leica decide to create a camera so expensive like M mono because it's very expensive compared the M series color or something. No, MP, M10P, M10R, etc. And it's super expensive. Video, have a nice day. And in chat, people say you, mm, good evening. It's a pleasure listen to you. Yeah, you have a very nice voice. You can try to become a radio speaker in the night with, for example, old school of jazz or something like that. When the
Do you have
photography
a do you have
mix with the light, with the jazz, noir atmosphere, something like that.
I
Yeah,
have no musical talent, so I don't know about the jazz,
yeah,
man, but I appreciate
you simply talking. DJ put the music, you simply talk.
it.
That's no problem. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now regarding instead your approach with the film cameras, you have a M6,
I have an
TTL,
M6, it's my favorite camera, yeah.
TTL, new one or the oldest?
It is it's a '90s one. It's yeah, so it's the older one, yeah.
And M6 is a legendary camera.
Legendary, yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. And what's your different when you shoot in digital and film? Your approach, your keep in mind that you use a roll and not a sensor. You have a limited space to tell a story. It's your approach.
It's really just if I feel like it. I take the M6 everywhere with me, and sometimes I'll go on work trips and I only take my M6. Like that's just what I'm going to do for this trip. For my personal work anyways. And I always have it. Sometimes I'll do photo shoots with models or with actors and things, and I'll generally always shoot a roll, just to get some film shots in there. Um or sometimes I'll go on little trips or day trips and just take the M6. It's like I just feel like film today. I'm going to slow it down. I'm probably going to I'm going to get 35 or 36 or 37 shots or whatever it ends up being, and that's what today's going to be. So um I love it. I love how small it is. It feels really comfortable. I love the mechanics of it. So yeah,
Shutter
it's
sound.
yeah, all of it, it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great camera.
it's an
The
amazing
most
camera.
beautiful camera of all time.
I need to send mine in and get it worked on a little bit. It's having a light leak at like a thousandth of a shutter, so I'm getting a little bit of like it needs a little bit of work, but that's
Wow.
fine.
Nah, that guy is forever. The M6 is forever. You can
M6 is yeah,
simply
yeah,
uh, go in the center and mm, restyle your cameras without any problem. M6
yeah,
is so pleasured camera in for this particularly segment of cameras because Leica guaranteed uh, the all of part of this camera, and that's amazing. All
yeah. I'll
mechanics
never get rid of it.
part, yes, never give up, and you can make a ton of shot and simply change the part broken and restart.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And what's your favorite film role for photography? Usually,
My film style, I probably end up liking T-Max 100 the most. It's just I like the finer grain, and I like the contrast of it. I really like T-Max.
the max 800 or 100?
100, yeah,
100.
100.
It's
So pretty,
it,
yeah.
it's a little bit low ISO for street.
Yeah, I mean it's not super versatile. Um, but I like it. That's what I'm shooting. If it's bright out and I'm doing daytime stuff, I'm not going to be indoors. Always try and shoot T-Max 100. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. That's I usually when I use with my medium format camera, I usually use Portra. I love
Mm,
Portra. Portra
yeah, yeah, yeah.
400 for me is the roll in my
Hmm.
Mamiya RZ,
Yeah,
and
yeah, very popular. Yeah.
yeah, the color rendering is something like superb, and I love it. And but in digital, I don't know. Digital is different because I really don't like digital cameras except my SL because it's
Hmm.
totally different color rendering. And
Yeah.
but the mm, I don't know. I have this problem in this period when I, for example, scroll the social media as Instagram or other social. I saw a lot of picture, and in my opinion, there are all the same makeup with all the same camera, all the same stuff, all the same light setup, all the same light techniques, and I don't know. I don't see the real photography. It's my problem. Okay, but
No, you're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. It's there's a lot of stuff that's just general and flat, and then when you see something that's fresh and new and different, it really stands out. And it's I mean, it's more so that way now because look, everybody's got a phone with a camera on it. Cameras are very inexpensive. There's like you can get a really, really great camera for not very much money. It doesn't have
yeah,
to be a Leica. Like you can get a very capable, good camera for not very much. And even if it's a 6 or 8 year old camera, it's still going to be amazing. You know.
yeah, and that's
Um.
another
So
problem.
yeah. So it's like the 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 job for us, all of us, is okay. If you want to be a photographer or you want people to notice what you're doing, you better be doing something a little different. And I think a lot of social media doesn't really help because a lot of people they see just all this, they're just swipe, 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 and they see all this stuff, and then they just think, well, that's what I need to do. Um, I think the real artists are not necessarily on social media as much. They're out there making stuff and they're doing their own thing and they're doing what they see. So it's okay, you want to swipe, you want to look at this stuff, but really what we should be doing is just being out there, making our thing, making what we see, trying to shape and trying to show the world our perspective. That's what you need to be doing. So
But
all that other stuff, look, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be noise. Like you can turn on the TV and there's 800 channels of, whatever.
yeah,
So go, just go out there, turn it all off, and go make something that only you see and that only you can make.
yes, it's true. It's absolutely true. And in my opinion, the problem is the people see, hey, this make a lot of like, I make the same. That's the real problem. For example,
It is a problem.
I long short story. For example, when strobes can make HSS, icing speed, all people start shooting in icing speed, and you can see a lot of picture with ambient light down and this flash strobe in front of subject. When when ND filter came out, the people start to shoot with all ND filter for shallow depth of field. You can see all picture with 1.2, 1.4, etc., etc. But hey,
Mhm.
if you are outdoor, please storytelling of the ambient of the situation. I don't know how, and all people do the same thing, and this is the problem of the social media. If someone go for trend, you make the same stuff, and that's not art. This is simply copy and paste. For example, hey, for example, when people find, for example, for example, I'm a really big fan of Joe McNally. I really love Joe McNally. But Joe McNally use a lot of flashes, a lot of smooth flashes, but is a storyteller. He find the right situation to use his stuff, and that's the power of Joe McNally, in my opinion.
Mhm.
For example, Annie Leibovitz is a most famous photographer. She's a queen, but she has a lot of stuff, a big stuff to prepare the sets for days. Spend a lot of days to prepare all stuff, all object, all. kind of old stuff, and she
Yeah, she's
comes.
a master.
Okay, yeah, that's the different. It's a big difference. For example, if you know Robert Frank simply take his camera, go and take some picture without any
Yeah,
stuff. Or
yeah,
for example, Helmut Newton or Richard Avedon, and
yeah,
and that's the different. They make own personal vision of the world.
yeah,
Yeah, and the, and that's the problem of the modern photography. I talk of this with Peter Coulson when he come in live, and he told me the same thing. Make your art for you, not for the social media. If you like this
100%.
model, use this model. If you like this camera, use this camera. If you like this light, use this light. Don't you don't care. You need to create for yourself, and
100%.
that's true.
100%.
And that's true.
100%.
Mm.
Otherwise, what are you doing with your life? Why are you wasting your time? Who cares if somebody likes it or not? You got to like it. You got to like it. It takes a lot of effort. So make things that you like with people you like in places you like.
Yes, it's
It's
true,
simple.
guys.
It's
And
simple.
the last question from this beautiful hour spent together. And when do you come in Italy? That's the question.
I want to come. It's my favorite country. I want to come to
You never
Italy really
visit?
bad. I want to live there. I want to live there bad.
Beh, come in Italy. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, I want to come. I want to come. I don't know. There's no plans. There's no plans, but I would love to come. I love the Dolomites, and I love the area that you live in. I love like Tuscany in that area. It's so amazing. I love the country live in. I love rural Italy. The cities are beautiful and nice and culture and everything, but for me, the beauty of Italy
The
is
food.
the rural areas. Yeah, I just want a little house. I want a little house. I want some olive trees. I want a couple of goats. That's all I want, man. That's all I want.
Dolomiti. Perfetto. Dolomiti are perfect. And
Yeah, I want
good
some mountains.
food.
Yeah. Oh, good food. Amazing food.
Good food. Do you
Yeah.
never visit Italy?
I've been there we did a trip for like 5 weeks. Yeah, I love Italy.
Oh, man, you
Yeah.
absolutely come back in Italy.
Yeah.
Mm,
I can't wait to come back. It's my favorite place I've ever been. I can't wait to go back to Italy.
uh, Italy is all beautiful. You can find a lot of history, a lot of cities, a lot of people, and a lot of photography situation. And that's a very nice place. And
Yes.
is
Yes.
you can find a mountain, you can find a sea, you can find all the stuff that you want.
Yes.
Okay,
Everything.
guys, we are arrived in the end of this beautiful live with Ben. Ben, thanks a lot to join this live. I hope you talk with you soon. Guys, don't forget tomorrow we have a new video came out. And Ben, see you soon. Thanks for this beautiful live with me. And I hope you enjoy. And
Thank you so
yeah,
much, Oz.
guys, I have a nice night. Have a good night, and see you the next interview. Bye.